This is why
Actually.
Milo is however
Totally
many
changed.
debates he had and 0 as a win-loss record. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I like
No,
the way
I
that you use
haven't
your
lost because I stick to
gayness as like an invulnerability shield too, where it's like if you were a straight white guy saying all this same shit going on TV, you wouldn't be high enough on the victimhood poll to get away with it. They would
No, but
shut
I'm
you
an
down.
example of why they should stop this ridiculous identity politics. I'm like saying, so you let me say this stuff and could get away with this stuff, and by get away with, I mean like you let me tell the truth on TV, because you don't let men tell the truth on TV. Men telling the truth on TV, they lose their jobs, they lose their reputations, they get they get slaughtered. But I'm allowed to say it. Why? Because I like dick. Like what? How does this make sense? And the problem, what progressives are realizing is actually maybe this identity politics thing, where we give people special privileges because of what they were born as, isn't all it's cracked up to be, because we've got to a point in society where gays don't mind being conservative and blacks don't mind voting Republican. This isn't what we had in mind. We never imagined this was going to happen. Gays are supposed to vote for Democrats. Now we're at a point where, like in the UK, for example, in the last election, 50% of homosexuals said they were going to vote for the Conservative Party. And The Guardian, our left-wing newspaper, reported this statistic with horror. We're not supposed to go off ideological reservation, we minorities. Actually, the reality is this. One, that if you get born black or gay or a woman, the dirty secret that they don't want you to know is you have a fucking ball in life. You have a passport to everything you want. You can say what you want. You can do what you want. You can be outrageous. And I'm living proof of this. And two, that because of that sort of privileged status, and it is like gay privilege in my case, progressives don't know how to fight you. So they've created a system which is going to destroy them. They've created a system where they privilege certain people above others on the basis of skin color, sexuality, or gender. And now they're realizing that those people they've put in special victim categories might turn around and, horribly ungratefully, how dare they, say, you know what, I don't agree with this,
Well,
and start to destroy
them. If gay rights are a top issue for you, undoubtedly the Democrats represent you better than the Republicans.
No, gay rights aren't an issue for me at all, because everything that gay people wanted they already have, and in fact
they got this term.
Well, obviously I'm a Brit, so we've had civil partnership for a very long time. We had a sort of cosmetic change; it became gay marriage. I understand that it's different in America, but this is the inexorable flow of history is moving in that direction, and it was a conservative administration in Britain that brought in gay marriage.
I can promise you it absolutely would not have happened under a conservative administration in America.
Do you know, I find it difficult to sort of buy into the victimhood culture and the grievance culture when I think about all of my American friends who are homosexuals, and I ask them, well, what is it that you can't do in life? In what way have you been disadvantaged versus your heterosexual friends? And they struggle to come up with an explanation. They struggle to come up with an answer to any of this stuff. The marriage thing is now rolling ahead in the US, and that's great and that's wonderful. If you look at how homosexuals are endlessly mollycoddled and pacified and sucked up to by the progressive establishment, by the media, and conservative media too, by the way, and even some Republican politicians. Fine, that party may be a little bit behind some other people, but I just don't buy the argument that homosexual women or all women are some kind of oppressed class in America. Now,
I can name things though, like if prior to the marriage thing. If you were gay, especially if you worked for a smaller company, it was harder to include that person on your health insurance, right? They just viewed him like a girlfriend would be.
Has that changed now because of marriage?
Well, if you're married, yeah, then absolutely that person gets treated like a spouse, and you can
so is it
enroll
exactly
in a family
the same?
plan. Yes.
I don't know the intricacies of American law on this point. So you're inevitably going to be able to suggest things to me that are great.
I've got more. I could talk about taxes. I could talk about, of course,
sure,
the big one is hospital visitation rights. That pulls heartstrings.
Well, it doesn't really affect that many gay people. I mean, how many gay people are really in a relationship for that long? They'll all tell you.
Dan Savage is in a long-term relationship. You don't like Dan Savage?
If there's one person who's done more damage to the image of gay people, aside perhaps from Lily Savage or something, it's Dan Savage. I mean, modern awful human being.
I like Dan Savage.
I don't know anything.
You do, because he's the friendly, lovely homosexual who makes you laugh and has nice progressive principles. And he's,
John's in a long-term relationship.
He's Dan Savage is the lovely, friendly pocket gay who's never going to step out off the ideological reservation. He has all the opinions he's supposed to have, and he beats those nasty, big, bad Republican bastards in debate. I'm sorry, Dan Savage is a sociopath. He's a nasty, cruel, hectoring, bullying person who is incredibly vicious to gay people who don't follow his ideological.
Did you
position.
guys have a bad breakup? Is that what this is?
No, I think it's really
I'm feeling some personal stuff boiling up right now.
Here's
Yeah,
my
it's
impression of
all
Dan
going on here,
Savage.
isn't
If people don't know, he does this podcast called, is it the Savage Lovecast? Do I have it right?
I don't know because I don't listen to him because he's an
Okay.
abomination.
I haven't
But,
listened to him for a long time because I don't drive anymore.
What I will tell you though is that I don't really talk about gay issues a lot, which is why I don't know a lot about this stuff, because I don't care about it that much, because it doesn't affect that many people. What I talk about is heterosexual relationships. It's easy for journalists, and most journalists these days write about stuff that affects them directly because they're more activists than journalists, and they brought up in this identity politics tradition. They believe that certain political positions should flow from who they are, and they go through journalism is becoming, very feminized, particularly in new media, and women are just, paid to write about women and how awful men are these days. I took a decision a while ago that it would be easy for me and very lucrative for me to sort of become the kind of like anti-gay gay journalist, for me to be sort of the gay against gay marriage, the gay who's kind of like hates something. And I thought, no, actually, I can make much more of an impact telling the truth about 49% of the population who are suffering, and that's men. So most of my work is actually about heterosexual men, not about homosexuals. I don't care that much about gays. I think gays are doing fine. If there's a group in America today, who who do deserve some attention and are owed something and have some valid grievances, it's probably blacks. I don't think the right way to help them is the Black Lives Matter movement, but I think there's some valid grievances there. I don't think gays have very much to complain about anymore, particularly not now gay marriage is sort of steamrolling through. And I especially don't believe that women have anything to complain about whatsoever in America today.
Yeah, I'm gonna back you up big time on the
girl thing.
Women.
Yeah.
You can fucking cry those tears all you want. No, I don't believe it. It's much easier to be a woman than it is to be a man.
Of course